Hi, everybody. In just a little while, I'll be starting with a talk called Past Life Regression. Have you lived before? I'm on here now just a little bit early so that they can get us hooked up in the feed all going the way it needs to go. And then we'll be able to be hooked up into the online event that's going on. So, yeah, we're going to do past life regression. I love doing past life regression classes. I love doing past life regression talks because there's so many things about past life regression that we don't understand or don't think we understand, and that we probably end up doing lots and lots of things with. So I see one person watching. Hello, one person. We're getting ready to be going live. Pretty soon I'm live on the page, and we're going to be hooked up into the online platform for the Holistic Fairs Ireland. Not Holistic Fairs Ireland, which one is it? Body, Mind, Spirit Events Ireland. And we'll be live on that page. And today we're going to be talking about past life regression. We're going to be talking a little bit about the allure of it. I say allure, I don't know if that's too classy or what, but we'll be talking a little bit about what people find interesting about past life regressions, maybe what people don't understand about past lives, and some ways that we can maybe therapeutically use past lives to help us live the life that we're living right now. So we're probably just about there. I think it's 3 minutes away, so that's cool. My name's Mary Anderson, for those who know me and those who don't. No, actually, it's for those who don't know me and those who do. It's Sunday. All right. Yep. So he knows I'm on what page I'm on, and we're going to be tootling right along here in a few minutes. So, and talking about past life regression and really good stuff. I sort of got drugged to past life regression. It was one of those things that I want to help people now. I don't want to worry about what they did or where they were. I want to be able to help people right now. And so that's that. But what I didn't understand is that is another mechanism by which you can help people right now. So we've got about 3 minutes. I want to say hi to everybody. Want to say hi and see who's here, who's not. Sounds like great stuff. We're having good fun. Okay, we'll go back. All right. So anyway, in just a moment, we're going to start. And again, I'll be live. We'll be live on the page for online events for the Body, Mind, Spirit, Soul, Body, Body, Mind, Spirit, Soul, Body, Soul, Mind, Spirit. He's made it awkward for me to say that. Not particularly. So we got about another 2 minutes and we'll be doing that. But past life regression is a cool thing. So again, as I was relating, I got drugged into past life regression. Can you do this? I can do it. Do I think it's a great idea? Not necessarily. But that has changed over time. And I'll be telling you some of the reasons that has changed in this video. Some of the reason it's changed is because of things I've seen in the classes that we've done. I don't think there's been one class that I've taught that we haven't had like a spontaneous or spiraculous. There you go. We have a spiraculous event. A spontaneous or miraculous sort of appearing thing happen for somebody. And I'll talk a little bit about a few of those on this talk. So and I was even amazed. I mean, I know about energy. I know how things work, and I know these things can happen, but I was amazed when they did happen. I was like, oh my. So things that can happen very quickly, very easily. I'm not sure I completely understand the mechanisms, but there you go. That's why we're here, to learn and to understand and to know more about what we don't know. Okay. It is now 1:25. Hi, my name is Mary Kay Anderson, and first of all, I want to thank you for watching the replay of this, if you're watching the replay. And I want to introduce myself. My name is Mary Kay Anderson, and I'm a lot of things, but today I'm the past life regressionist. I am an energy therapist, a hypnotherapist, a retired nurse, and other things that I'm not even going to mention because it doesn't really apply to what we're talking about today. However, what we are going to talk about today is past life regression. Who are you? Have you lived before? Now, I know past life regression itself is all about who we were and what we have done in our previous existences, if they are there. Now, some people say, I don't know. And some people will say, yeah, that's past lives are really a thing. And the first thing that I always tell my classes is, number one, it's not my job to make you believe anything. I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm not here to tell anybody this is the absolute truth, because what is the truth for some people is not the truth for other people. So if this appeals to you, then by all means, you're in the right place. So past life regression. Hello, Teresa. How you doing? Lovely to see everybody. Past life regression is all about looking back into previous incarnations or existences that we've experienced. And a lot of people like to do it for, I say fun, but for interest. They really want to know who they were. Some people feel it's almost like an escape, like I was somebody bigger or better or different in my past life. And if they were, well, that's amazing and great stuff. However, what does it really do for us? So what I have worked on is taking past lives, working with them, and helping to use them therapeutically to help people change their lives. Now, when we talk about past lives, a lot of people talk a lot about karma, okay? And karma, let me just say this. When I hear people start talking, oh, it's my karma, I have to do this, my insides want to scream, no. If it is your karma, it means you have to find a way to change it. That's what karma realistically is nothing more than energy patterns that are askew in our body. In other words, we had a bad experience in another existence. We had an event in a past existence that gave us a maladaptive pattern, or this pattern that really keeps us, say, like sabotaging ourselves or not believing in ourselves or choosing the wrong people for intimate relationships. That kind of thing is based on, in past lives, a incomplete karmic pattern. That's what I call it. And karma is nothing more than an energy pattern that is askew. So rather than being in line with all the energies that are lined up in your body, they're askew. Maybe they're like this, or maybe they're like this, or however they are. When I look at people, I see their energy patterns and I can see how the patterns are askew. I can see them divided in the middle. Sometimes there's lines of blocks diagonally on people. Sometimes different parts of them are missing because the pattern is so askew. So past lives are about interacting with another incarnation of yourself. And again, a lot of people do it for curiosity or just want to know, and that's great. That's fine. I've done those. Or other people come with an issue or a problem that they just can't fix and hope that the answer lies within the past lives. And in fact, several people have come to me and said, you know what, I've done everything I can to fix this problem, and I can't see a initiating factor in this life, so it must be in a past life. So we start to look back, and we look back through past lives to see what it is that we can do to help this person unravel this energy that's in whatever conglomeration that it's in. It's not in a great pattern. Now, the cool thing about past lives is this. So a lot of people say, well, how do we get back to past lives? Well, there's lots of ways. People can dream. I've dreamt a past life before. People can, like when I do healing, I see people's past lives, or specifically when people look for a past life reading, I see, hear, feel their past lives, and we go through them and work through them. And then there is another way. There is another pattern where we use a phrase. That phrase is connected to a specific energy, and that phrase in itself then connects that person back to that time, place, and thing where the energy began. So that's another way we can do it. And then there is what everybody hears about and a lot of people want is a past life regression. And what that is that past life regression can be attained, like I said, with the phrase. But in most cases, the best use of getting a past life regression going is inducing a hypnotic trance. Now, I say induce, it sounds so freaky. But the bottom line is not that we have to do mumbo jumbo to get you there, but it's a matter of getting your mind to relax, your conscious mind to relax, so that we can work with your subconscious mind so it can tap into the information that's held within your body, your mind, your soul. That information then becomes accessible to the subconscious. And through that, we're able to go through and find out, where is the problem? How did the problem come into being? What effect did it have in that life? How did you pass from that life? What did you learn? What had you intended to learn? And what did you think you needed to learn that you didn't learn in that life? It's all very structured. And so we do that and we go through that time, place, and allow you to collect. You're collecting, you and your subconscious, your higher self, you're all collecting that information so that I can help put it together so we can help create a pattern that will change that thought or change that, say, you do everything for everybody but not yourself. So we're looking for ways that's happening in a past life and what effect that had on your life and how did you pass from the life. And once we see that, then we can go back in and start working therapeutics in the session to help you release that energetic pattern that's askew within your system. So how many people have you ever had a past life regression done? Have you ever regressed yourself or found yourself in a situation where you thought you were into regression or you thought you were in another past life? The thing is, bottom line is, as well, as I was saying in the beginning, I can't tell you this is real or not real. It's real for some people. It's not real for others. It's a thing for some people and it's not for others. And in the beginning, I thought I was one of those ones it wasn't a thing for, but the value that you gain from being able to look at those past patterns and come up with a new therapeutic plan that helps to put the energy back in the proper positioning is valuable. It's boundless, the amount of therapy that you can get from using past lives and doing those regressions. Now, I said in the beginning that there were a few things. I'll give you a few examples of some very amazing things that happened in some regressions that I've done, not only in my introduction to past life regression, but actually in my own clinic doing past life regressions. There was one person in one of the classes who, when we did a group regression. When we did that, they had gone back to being on a boat and they were a slave. And when after that group regression, she, verbalized that's where she'd been and she wasn't well. And she said, and it's a funny thing, she says, now I know why I can't ride on a boat. She was never able to ride on a boat or anything. So when it came time for a demo, I asked her, would you like me to work with that more as we demo this? And she said, oh, absolutely. She came up, it took her back. She had been taken from her country. Her husband had been killed. She was there. She was beaten. She had stripes on her back all over the place. She was in the boat and she had a small child. In her current life, she was never able to, from the day she was born, she could not sleep on her back. Also had a thing about boats and always felt this big sense of loss. So we went through all of the things that came up as an issue. Number one, being abandoned. Her husband died, okay? Number two, being enslaved. Number three, the wounds on her back. And number four, we didn't directly address the boat, but it was kind of within that. And the next day when she came in, she was glowing. And I said, so how was your night? She said, it's amazing. I slept on my back for the first time in my life. because she had such pain in her back when she would sleep on her back. But by doing that and desensitizing that old pattern, we were able to give her pain relief and was able to sleep on her back for the first time in her life. So that's a great example of how old past life patterns can sit in the body and can affect our body, how we feel, how we sense pain, how we feel about ourselves, all sorts of things. So it's an amazing, amazing way to help eliminate physical pain as well, if we get the right sources. Like, say somebody comes in and they say they have a chronic pain issue. I can do all the normal hypnotic techniques that I use for pain management. But if we're not getting any results, or if we get minimal results, then I always like to take them to a past life regression following the pain pattern. I ask them to allow that pain pattern. What we do is we allow that to come forward, and we follow that back to the origins of that pain pattern. It's like everybody says, if you're a healer, if everything you do, the bottom line is this: energy is energy. If you heal the past, you heal the present, and you heal the future. There is no time no time constrictions on energy. It exists as it is. It exists as it was. It exists as it should be in the future. But once we change one of those patterns, say this past life one, it sweeps from the past to the present to the future, so that we now can have, this woman now has a brilliant future. She took a cruise for the first time in her life, and she sleeps on her back, things she was never, ever able to do before. The first known spontaneous healing in hypnosis, using hypnosis, was a gentleman who had a club foot, and I think he also had some stilted speech. Anyway, they hypnotized him and asked him where all these things came from. So basically did a past life regression. They just didn't call it that. And after the session, he addressed where he'd been and what he'd done. And from what I read, I didn't think they even did that many therapeutics on him. But when he was done, he spoke clearly, and his club foot was normal, and he didn't have to walk with a cane any longer. So physical aspects can be changed by realigning the patterns in the proper sequences within the body, within the energy field. And we do that by accessing the origins of the problem by doing a regression. Very simple, very easy. Well, I say that, but it really is. Some people ask me, oh my gosh, what if I get stuck? What if I'm scared? What happens if I get stuck? I haven't lost anybody yet. You won't get stuck. I've taken lots of people back. We've gotten very involved, and ends up that no matter how involved we get, I can always bring you back. There's no problem. People get a little bit frightened by that sometimes, but that's no problem. No problem at all. The other thing is let me give you one more example, and then we'll talk a little bit more. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the question box. The next thing is that I had a person who was doing a demo in a class, and their problem was they always felt trapped. So we used one of the techniques where we used a phrase, and she kept repeating this phrase over and over and over again. I think it was, I got to get out of here, or something like that. And all of a sudden she was hollering and going like, I got to get out of here. And I go, okay, so where are you and what's going on? Well, her hands were tied down, and she couldn't move them. And she was tied to something, and she couldn't move. And she knew she was going to die if she didn't get out of there. She didn't know why, but she knew. So we started taking her through the things, guiding her through what she needed to do to release herself. And within this, within past life regression, you want to therapeutically change what's happening, but you also want to empower that person to know that they always had that ability, whether it was in a past life or in this current life. The ability was there. In that past life, they just didn't choose to take it, but it was still always there. That ability was there. So what we do is we help people unlock the ability to deal with the situations that they may have faced in their previous life. And being trapped was also an issue that she was carrying into this life, being trapped, say, in her life or job or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly, but she always felt trapped. And with hers, it was a lot of kinetic connection with this. In other words, everything she was doing, she was acting it out. Like we said, I said something about, so what do you need now? There's a guard, and he's going to kill me. I said, well, what do you need to do? She's like, I got to kill him. So now it's not my job to tell them how that happens. But I kind of assumed in my head, I was assuming, yeah, she'll probably, grab his sword and kill him or something, something like that. That's what I assumed. She goes, I have knives. Now, where she got those knives, I don't know. But she said, I said, so what do you do? She says, I have knives. I said, okay. I said, do what you have to do. Now, again, it's not for me to direct the action. It's for her, if people under trance, to do the action, whether it's in their mind or whether they physically begin to carry this out. And in her case, she was totally involved with this. And she goes, this was the funniest part. I have to demonstrate this. She was going, ha, ha, ha. And I thought, okay, he's dead. And then she'd go, ha, ha, ha. Okay, is he dead yet? But what was she doing? She was releasing that pent up, trapped energy out of her body. Okay? Now, did she actually kill this guy in the past? I have no idea. But her body felt this and needed to do this because of the trappedness that she existed in right now and was connected to in that past life. So I remember her. So she was particularly, it was a particularly very kinetic sort of regression. But when it was over, she told me that she felt so free and so amazingly clear about a lot of things that were going on in her life. So I want you to think about for a minute if you have a particular phrase or if there's any particular thing in your life that you feel is a repetitive pattern. And if you'd like to share it, you can pop it in there or go ahead and send me a message, a private message, and I'll be more than glad to answer that for, have a chat with you about whatever it is that you're feeling. So by all means, give us a little message one way or the other. But what I want to tell you is that past life regression is it is a curiosity, but it's also an actual therapeutic tool to help you change whatever you need to change. That's simple. And we do that by identifying the origins and then using therapeutic, finding out the origins and what you did and what happened. Then we go back through and do all the therapeutics to correct that pattern that is lying within you, that is there inside you. Even a lot of times when I'm doing regular hypnosis, a lot of people have a lot of kinetic energy, a lot of energy built up around a certain emotion or feeling. And they'll even flash to something. She said, I've had people go, I don't know where this is coming from, but I see a woman and she's being stabbed, or I see a woman who died, or I see I see a man who is running away, or a child who's deserted. And so what I do is I just take that cue and we start working the cue and working through it. So in essence, what I'm saying to you, that many, many things can be worked out here, but also many things that are a little more hidden, things that we've not actually been able to identify a cause or identify a way to fix, are hidden back in that energy. Now, some people say, well, how does that energy happen? Now, this is what I call the Mary theory. The Mary theory says this. It says that when our physical body dies, we wonder about where does the energy go? Well, that energy, because of the theory of the energy theory, is that energy cannot be destroyed. So it goes on to live in whatever manner within the universe, whether it flits around, looks for another place to go. Does it go back to a place of rest? I don't know what it does, but it exists. I also know and feel and find that we have an energy center that is ours, that is is the complete total part of our energy, that we're just a little piece of our complete energy, and that we go back to a home base and figure out, is this where we want to go, or is this what we want to do? And From there, we decide whether we're going to stay, go on to a higher level, or are we going to come back and do something different? So those are my things. But the bottom line is this, is that with all of this, that energy goes up. So when the energy leaves the body, we now have the energy that has energy ley lines in it. So if you have maladaptive patterns, that energy also has maladaptive energy lines that aren't quite fixed because you didn't sort it out in this life, or you didn't find a way to not be a doormat, or you didn't find a way not to keep giving to others and not yourself, or you didn't find a way to be strong in your relationships. So what happens then is that you end up carrying that maladaptive pattern, all right, in with your energy. There it is. So let's just pretend or say that you are going to come back into another life, and you're going to make your plan. This is what I'm going to do this time. And you really want to address this particular issue you took in your energy field with you. When you incarnate, again, what I feel happens, and this is all what I call the Mary theories, okay? I feel that the energy, your soul energy, comes into the body, and then the soul DNA binds to the physical DNA, and now we have those energy patterns are now within that body in the same similar ways that it was in the old body, but probably with a bit of a difference. But those old patterns that went when you left, those old patterns that were skewed up, they're still skewed. So when you have, and I said this in the very beginning, I'm going to say it again because it's just too important not to repeat. When people say it's my karma, I have to do it, no. It may be your karma, but you have to change it. Because it's your karma, you must change it. Because karma is nothing more than an energy pattern that is all askew, cockeyed, upside down, sideways, whatever it is, it's not in the right place. So when that pattern comes up again, you're faced with, oh my gosh, what do I do? This is why repetitive patterns happen, because it doesn't feel right to change it. You have to, even if you're doing the right thing, don't worry what it feels like. Because if you've been doing the wrong thing for a long time, then it's going to feel wrong when you do the right thing, because you're so used to that old energy of the wrong thing. The right thing is what you do. Okay, so when you do that, then you start working those patterns. And like I said, in past life regression, what happens is we're able to tap in, that person's able to tap into these patterns or things or follow through the things that are all askew, and we're able to use the therapeutics to change that so it's changed within this body as well. And as I said, I've had tons and tons of great, and nearly every introduction course I've done, we've had miraculous and spontaneous events that have occurred. I had one lady who got over her fear of cats like that. We did a short, it wasn't even a long regression. It was a group regression. It was short. And when we came after the session, I started going around to see what everybody had experienced. And this particular person told me that they had experienced facing a lion. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, now you've been there, right? She said, yeah. I said, close your eyes, go back. And I said, as you go back to that space where you're facing the lion. We're facing the lion. So she closed her eyes, took a couple of breaths. Because she'd been there, she could get back very easily. I said, now, tell me what's the lion doing? She said, he's walking away. I said, he's walking away. She said, yeah, I've got my spear, but he's walking away. I said, okay, we're going to count you. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. And how do you feel? She said, I actually feel good. She said, you know what? I've been afraid of cats, but you know what? My mother's cat just had kittens. I think I'm going to go see the kittens. And to make a long story short, she went home with one of the kittens because she was no longer afraid. She faced her fear. When she went back, the lion was gone, the cat was gone, and she didn't have anything to be afraid of anymore. And that translated, straightened that pattern in her body, and now that translated into her life right here. She had nothing to fear any longer. This works great for fears and phobias. It does work in deeper on physical aspects, which I've covered earlier in this talk. And I can't tell you, like I said, I was brought kicking and screaming, and I want to help people now. But what I didn't realize, some people can't be helped in the now. They have to be helped in the past, because that's where they're stuck. That's where they're stuck. And I've come to realize that. So it's been absolutely brilliant, brilliant work that I've been doing and working with people. Each one it's like an adventure for me. I don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen. And we just go through and see what's going to happen. How are we going to help this person today? How are we going to help them change what they're doing and how they're doing it? It's amazing, amazing work. I'll share one more with you. Actually, I had two more I'll share with you. We had one gentleman, we used the phrase induction, where he took a phrase that was familiar to him. And all of a sudden, I could see things were going on. I said, "Tell me what's going on in your belly, in your body." "Hi, Christina. What's going on in your body?" He said, I'm tied. I'm tied to something. I can't move. I'm all tied up." I said, "Okay." I said, "What's going on around you?" He went, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" "It's a mass grave." He said, "I'm a soldier." He said, I'm in a uniform. I don't know what uniform it is, but I'm in a uniform." He said, "They're going to kill me. They're going to throw me in the mass grave and kill me. I see it." And the tears were coming in his eyes. I even now repeating this makes me want to cry. It's so emotive that we went back and found this place where he was tied up, trapped, and eventually died. So we did a therapeutics with him in that session and got him sorted out. I've had another case where a person found themselves being taken to an old house by an elder person of the family, and they disappeared on him. They were gone. And what he came to realize through doing the therapeutics and everything is that he was brought there to die. He had typhoid or something that was incurable back in that time. And the other person had his own family. This child was an orphan, part of the family, but an orphan, and he was left there to die. So the direction of the therapeutics were then directed at self-value, trusting himself and not outside conditions, but mostly those two things. And he felt it was brilliant. He felt, again, free afterwards. There's a lot of sense of freedom after we've done a past life regression. A lot of people feel a very strong, strong sense of freedom afterwards. And it's just really, really amazing. It's brilliant. And the thrill I get from helping and working with people through this is absolutely just amazing. I feel, I don't know, I feel like I'm there with them through all this. I really am. I really feel like I'm through them all this. So past life, how does this all apply to you? You can do the same thing. You can access past lives. You can access them through dreams, thoughts, patterns, whatever. There's a lot of ways it can be done. However, if you're really, really interested, if you go to the paid online courses pages here within the Body, Mind, Spirit event, there is a link to classes. It's called Introduction to Past Life Regression. Have you lived before? And that link will take you to a 2-day online class in April. And we're going to be diving deeper and deeper into past lives, what they are, how they are. And the point being is that we can help you within that class. It's the very same class that I had all these wonderful and amazing things happen for people within that class. So just even, and I wouldn't have thought that possible. I honestly have to tell you, I didn't think that was, I heard it could be, but I didn't even think it was that possible for have such spontaneous changes within the person's body and mind and soul just that quick, even through this sort of a therapy. So it's brilliant. So if you want to learn more, or maybe even interested about down the road becoming a past life regressionist, well, this introduction course is for you. So go ahead to the paid online classes within the Body, Mind, Spirit here and have a look. Go to it. It's being sponsored by the Irish Clinical Hypnotherapy of Ireland, which is where I graduated from hypnotherapy school. I've been a hypnotherapist now for 10 years. 10 years. seen lots of things, let me tell you. But in the end, through therapy, through hypnosis, through everything, we were able to help somebody change their life. And that's what I'm all about. The biggest thing, people ask me, why did I get into this sort of work? Well, I got into be a nurse back in the 80s because I wanted to help people. That's all I knew. I want to help people. That's all I know. So I became a nurse and I helped a lot of people. I saved a lot of lives. I did a lot of those things. Then what happened was, as I was going through the medical thing, I could see I was running a revolving door. They'd just go out, come back, come back. Nobody's addressing the real issues sometimes. So then I got involved in energy work and hypnotherapy. And I got involved in the energy work first. And again, even with all that and my medical background and everything, there's something missing. Hypnotherapy was that thing that was missing because it allows me to work through the mind to help change the body, mind, and the spirit and the soul, help to change everything. And it's just an amazing, amazing feeling to be able to hand somebody their life back. It is just amazing to help them know and understand that they are okay and that this is going to work. Conversely, if you would like your own past life regression, then leave a message or DM me. You can message me if you leave a comment in the comments that says I saw you. Then I'll know, and I'll give you I'll give you a special price, because hey, you were here and I was here, and that was great. So put in there, I saw you, or DM me and says, I saw you. I really want to have a session. That's fine. We'll work that out. We can do that. And that's really it. The main thing I want you to know and understand is that my satisfaction is looking and helping people change their life to become that person that they either thought they were, or they want to be, or have wanted to be, but just wasn't able to connect to that because they didn't have the healed energy, or they didn't have the right tools, or whatever. So that life can be changed by going through some past life, by going through. And a lot of people have, and when I teach past life and when I work with past life, here's the thing. There is a spiritual aspect to past life regression. Yes. But I work more from the technical side. We can bring that in if that person has certain beliefs that are obvious and come through. Yeah, they'll be there. However, my concept is there is a mechanism by which to help you change, and that's the pattern I follow. It's not all about the spiritual aspect of it, but it does affect you spiritually. Does that make sense? I'm a little I know that sounds a little confusing, but I just want people to know and understand. I'm not coming at it from a totally spiritual point of view. I'm coming at it from a I call factual point of view that helps you change. And if spiritual comes into it while we're doing it, then there it is. I've had sessions, I did regressions where angels have shown up and talked through my clients. Brilliant. I love angels. And if they're there, that's great. I've had that happen. And actually through that, one of my other therapies was born from an angel coming through, speaking through one of my clients, talking about things. So there you go. So it's there. The spiritual aspect's there. It's just not something I'm going to blow up. We're going to deal with what comes from you and from you personally. And I've done regressions on lots of folks with that. So the most important thing I want you to know from this talk is you can change your life. And if you need help, then I can help you change your life. Past life regression is a beautiful way to make those changes because we discover more and more about ourselves and affect change on those things that are out of whack so that we can now grow and be the person that we have always been, the person we want to be, the person we were told we could never be. I'm sure there's many of you out here say, oh, you'll never amount to anything. Or, yeah, you're kind of smart, but you don't have any common sense. Or oh, you're very logical and clear, but you have no sense. I had all these things said to me as I was growing up. I grew up with a very bad self-perspective. And the bottom line is that it doesn't have to be that way. Okay? It just doesn't have to be that way. So if you want to know more, if you want to change your life, then past life regression just may be the way to do it. So if you're interested, go to the paid online courses page and look for past life regression. Have you lived before? That course will be next month. I believe it's the 17th and 18th. It'll be online, and we're going to have a heck of a good time in helping you to make those changes. If you want your own regression, then leave me a comment on this that says, I saw you, and I'll be in touch, and we'll sort out how to help you. Or conversely, just go ahead and send me a direct message that says, hey, I'd like to try this. And we'll make that arrangement for you. Okay, listen, thank you all for coming in. I've seen Teresa and Christina, a few other people popping in and out. That's brilliant. Thank you all so much. If you're watching the replay, thank you for listening, for knowing and for understanding, and for being interested in a powerful therapeutic technique that can help you change anything about your life. I love you all. Take care. Bye.